Hello, my name is Casey Clark, and I wanted to talk real quick about how to use Screencastify to grade student papers. So a couple things I do. First off, I have my kids submit their papers in Google Docs. The number one reason why is because I can go over here and turn on suggesting. Um, this way I can edit their papers live, and they can see the edits that I'm making as suggestions, but not as pure edits. So if I wanted to change the title of this, I could just say Grapes of Wrath. It adds it as a suggestion, and the student has to accept the suggestion for the change to take place. Now, some other things I think it's really important when we're using Screencastify to grade a student's paper is to read the paper ahead of time. I usually go through and I'll make little notes. You just Control-Alt-M. Here, I'll show you. Do a little Control-Alt-M. Pop-up bubble come in. I can put a number in there, and then that way I know for me personally I need to go and look at that. So if I look at this first one, I can say, oh, okay, Rose of Sharon, your MLA heading looks great. I made adjustments to your title. We can go down and talk more about other pieces of the paper. Maybe I think this sentence needs to be reworded. Now, in the past, I would have to handwrite out, reword, or I'd use my little codes like SP for spelling. Now I can just make the change, show the student. They still have to accept it in order for the change to take place. The other benefit of using Screencastify is, besides suggesting, is I can actually explain how or why things need to be done. So I made a couple notes for myself here where I know for this specific example, the student needs to introduce theme into their thesis statement because she doesn't have theme here. I also think she needs to have a little bit more background, so I can tell her what kind of background she should have. Maybe background about John Steinbeck or the Dust Bowl for this specific paper. So I can give a little bit more explanation rather than just notes on a page. Another benefit, I would say, and this is kind of a benefit, is that this takes about the same amount of time as when I used to grade papers by hand. Now, I don't really save any time by making the videos, but what I am doing basically is I am giving better explanation, more thoughtful feedback, and my students so far have done a better job of actually looking at my feedback, because it's kind of weird to see your teacher on a video talking about your paper, so there's that novelty aspect, but I'm just giving better feedback, and they really do enjoy it, and it has greatly improved their papers. In terms of data, I've seen that from when they write their first Grapes of Wrath juxtaposition paper, and then I go through and I make my comments, and I have the redos come in, and I can see how they really have improved. Where in the past, when my kids redid a paper, handed it in, it was clear that oftentimes they didn't look at what I had recommended the first time. So Screencastify to grade papers, I've been doing it all year. I really like it. I think it's more valuable than just handwritten notes. I can give better feedback in the same amount of time as it normally would have taken to grade my papers. So that's all there is. If you have more questions about doing this, you can see we have our contact QR code. My name's Casey Clark. Just send me an email, and I will happily answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much.